Urgent, Magic Johnson tells the truth about the sale of the Lakers. Stay until the end to find out everything. But before starting the video, leave your like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any Lakers news. Magic Johnson didn't just approve the sale of the Los Angeles Lakers. He fully embraced it. In fact, he went as far as saying that Lakers fans should be absolutely thrilled about the new ownership taking charge of the franchise. His comments came right after it was officially announced that Mark Walter, CEO of TWG Global and Guggenheim Partners, had reached an agreement to acquire the majority stake in the Lakers. According to Magic, Lakers fans should be completely excited. This statement holds extra weight coming from him, considering his close relationship with Mark Walter. The two are not just business associates but longtime partners, especially through their joint ownership of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Their partnership is anything but recent. It dates back to 2012 when Magic and Mark Walter led an investment group to purchase the Dodgers. At the time, the Dodgers were struggling both financially and competitively, a franchise that had lost its way. But their leadership transformed everything. The results were impossible to ignore. Since that acquisition, the Dodgers have become a baseball powerhouse. They've captured 11 National League West Division titles over the last 12 years, proving their dominance. Even more impressively, they secured 2 World Series championships in just 5 seasons, a feat that seemed unlikely before Walter and Magic took over. Beyond the titles, they attracted some of the biggest names in the sport, including Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, and Shohei Ohtani, each of whom was an MVP-caliber player before joining the Dodgers. The message was clear from day one. Financial limitations would never stand in the way of building a championship-level team. Walter and Magic operated with a simple philosophy. If winning required investment, they were more than willing to spend. This naturally leads to a big question. What does this mean for the Lakers? Fans are already buzzing with speculation. Looking at the Dodgers' transformation, there's legitimate reason to believe the Lakers could be on the brink of something special under this new leadership. Over the past 6 seasons, the Lakers have leaned heavily on the presence of LeBron James, pairing him with a second superstar, most notably Anthony Davis. This formula brought a championship in 2020 during the NBA bubble season, but outside of that, the results have been inconsistent. Playoff exits, roster instability, and questions about the long-term vision have lingered. Now, with Mark Walter stepping in as the controlling owner and Magic Johnson playing a key role behind the scenes, everything could change. The expectation is that the Lakers will adopt a far more aggressive approach when it comes to roster construction and financial commitment. If their strategy with the Dodgers is anything to go by, Lakers fans can anticipate a shift toward building not just a good team, but a sustainable dynasty. There's also a deeper, emotional element to this moment. Back in 1979, Jerry Buss bought the Lakers and drafted a young Magic Johnson. That partnership didn't just build a successful basketball team, it built an empire. 5 championships in 9 years, the rise of the Showtime era, and the transformation of the Lakers into one of the most recognizable brands in global sports all started with that move. Now, 45 years later, the Jerry Buss era officially concludes. But the story comes full circle, with Magic Johnson once again at the center of the Lakers' transformation. Only this time, his influence is felt not on the court but in the boardroom. Given the proven track record that Magic and Walter have established with the Dodgers, Lakers fans should be more than hopeful, they should be optimistic. Their history shows a clear pattern. Invest heavily, pursue top-tier talent, and prioritize winning above all else. Both Magic and Walter are fully committed. With rumors swirling about potential blockbuster moves, including pairing LeBron James with another elite superstar like Luka Doncic, the dream of bringing the Lakers' 18th NBA championship banner to the rafters feels more achievable than ever. The future under this new ownership could very well usher in a new golden era for the purple and gold. The news of the Lakers' sale sent shockwaves through the NBA community, but for those who truly understood the dynamics behind the deal, it felt more like the beginning of an exciting new chapter rather than the end of an era. Magic Johnson's role in this transition isn't just symbolic. It's a signal that the Lakers are preparing for something much bigger than anyone initially imagined. Magic's history as both a player and a businessman gives him a unique perspective. He knows firsthand what it takes to build a winning culture, not just on the court but also within the front office. His partnership with Mark Walter isn't based solely on financial gain. It's built on a shared vision of excellence, competitiveness, and community impact. This vision was clearly demonstrated during their tenure with the Dodgers, where the franchise went from financial uncertainty to one of the most valuable and successful organizations in all of sports. When Magic talks about the Lakers' future, his words carry more than just optimism. They carry credibility. He's seen how the right ownership group can completely change the destiny of a franchise. The Dodgers weren't just improved, they became a machine for winning. A team that once struggled to attract elite talent suddenly became a destination for the biggest stars in the game. If the same approach is applied to the Lakers, the ripple effects could redefine the balance of power in the NBA for years to come. Mark Walter isn't the kind of owner who seeks the spotlight. Quiet but incredibly effective, he operates behind the scenes, making strategic moves that create long-term success. His leadership style complements Magic's perfectly. Where Magic brings charisma, media presence, and a deep understanding of the Lakers' cultural identity, Walter delivers stability, resources, and a methodical approach to winning. For Lakers fans, this is more than just a change in ownership. It's a potential revival of the Lakers dynasty. The NBA has always thrived when the Lakers are successful. From the Showtime era to the Kobe and Shaq years, and now to the LeBron era, the league's biggest stories often revolve around this iconic franchise. And yet, in recent years, despite having one of the greatest players of all time in LeBron James, the Lakers have struggled to maintain consistency. The 2020 championship was a bright spot, but it's hard to ignore the injuries, missed playoff appearances, and constant roster reshuffling that have plagued the team since then. It's clear that relying solely on aging superstars isn't a sustainable strategy. The modern NBA demands flexibility, depth, and smart roster construction, something the Dodgers mastered under Walter and Magic's guidance. This new ownership signals a shift toward that philosophy. No longer will the Lakers simply depend on big names alone. Instead, they are expected to focus on building a balanced roster with the right mix of veterans, young talent, and role players who fit the team's identity. It's the kind of strategy that builds dynasties, not just one-off championship runs. There's also the question of financial commitment. The Buss family, while deeply connected to the Lakers emotionally, operated within more conservative financial parameters compared to other wealthy ownership groups around the league. With Mark Walter at the helm, those limitations could disappear. His financial power, combined with his proven willingness to spend in order to win, suggests that the Lakers may become one of the most aggressive teams in free agency and the trade market. Magic himself hinted at this during his recent appearances in the media. Without directly confirming any moves, he made it clear that the Lakers' front office is ready to make bold decisions. Whether that means pursuing a generational talent like Luka Doncic or locking in a core that can compete for multiple titles, the message is the same. The Lakers are ready to go all in. Another factor to consider is the organizational culture. Under the Buss family, the Lakers operated like a family business for better and for worse. While this created a strong sense of loyalty and tradition, it sometimes led to decisions based on relationships rather than basketball logic. The new leadership structure, combining Walter's business acumen with Magic's basketball intelligence, promises a more modern, streamlined approach. It's not just about signing stars. It's about scouting, player development, analytics, and building a sustainable winning formula. This is where the Dodgers' influence becomes even more relevant. Their ability to develop homegrown talent while supplementing with marquee free agent signings has been the blueprint for their success. Applying that same model to the Lakers could result in a roster that's not only talented but built to last. The emotional weight of this transition isn't lost on anyone. Lakers fans are fiercely loyal and deeply connected to the franchise's history. Letting go of the Buss family's leadership is bittersweet. Jerry Buss was more than just an owner, he was a visionary who redefined what it meant to run a sports franchise. But times change, and so do the demands of remaining competitive in a rapidly evolving league. As Magic Johnson steps into his new role as a guiding figure for the Lakers' future, fans are beginning to realize that this isn't just about continuing the past, It's about building something even greater. The potential is enormous. With the resources, leadership, and vision now in place, the Lakers are poised to reclaim their spot at the top of the NBA. The basketball world is watching closely. Other franchises are paying attention. And as the new ownership era begins, one thing is certain. The Los Angeles Lakers are no longer playing it safe. They're preparing to dominate. The buzz surrounding the Lakers' ownership change hasn't slowed down. In fact, as the days pass, the sense of anticipation only grows stronger. Fans, analysts, and players alike are beginning to realize that this move is more than just a business transaction. It's a complete shift in how the Lakers will operate moving forward. Magic Johnson, who has always been deeply connected to the heart and soul of the Lakers, continues to be one of the most vocal supporters of this new chapter. But his excitement isn't just based on sentiment. It's grounded in experience, results, and a vision of how a modern sports franchise should be run. When Magic reflects on what he and Mark Walter accomplished with the Dodgers, it's impossible to ignore the parallels. The Dodgers were a storied franchise, rich in history but weighed down by years of mismanagement and financial constraints. When Walter stepped in with Magic by his side, everything changed. They didn't just patch up a broken team, they built a winning machine from the ground up. They invested heavily in analytics, scouting, and player development. They created one of the most advanced infrastructures in baseball, ensuring that success wasn't dependent on luck or a single superstar but on a system that consistently produced winning teams. This wasn't about chasing one trophy, it was about sustaining excellence for years, even decades. That same blueprint is now being drawn for the Lakers. One of the first priorities is clear: establish stability. For years, the Lakers have been criticized for their reactive decision-making. Trades made out of desperation, coaching changes driven by short-term failures, and front office decisions clouded by loyalty rather than logic. Those days, according to sources close to the new leadership, are over. Mark Walter's approach is methodical. He believes in building foundations first, not just in the roster but in the organizational structure. Expect to see investments in player health technology, advanced performance centers, and a front office stacked with some of the brightest minds in basketball. This isn't just about getting the biggest name in free agency. It's about creating an environment where those stars want to come, knowing they're joining a franchise built to win. Magic's role in all this can't be understated. While Walter provides the financial muscle and business expertise, Magic brings the cultural understanding of what it means to be a Laker. He understands the pressure, the expectations, and the responsibility that comes with wearing the purple and gold. More importantly, he knows how to sell that vision to players around the league. Already, there are whispers in NBA circles that agents and players are paying close attention to what's happening in Los Angeles. Stars who may not have previously considered the Lakers a serious destination are suddenly intrigued. The combination of financial power, organizational stability, and the opportunity to play for one of the most iconic franchises in sports is hard to ignore. There's also a growing belief that the Lakers are preparing for a major move, one that could reshape the league's power structure. Whether it's pursuing a player like Luka Doncic, who's reportedly frustrated with his current situation, or targeting other superstars who fit the Lakers' long-term vision, the message is clear. No player is off the table. But this new approach isn't solely about stars. The Dodgers didn't succeed just because they bought talent. They developed it. Players like Walker Buehler and Gavin Lux rose through their system, proving that building from within is just as important as big-name acquisitions. The Lakers are expected to adopt a similar dual-track strategy, balancing the pursuit of superstars with a renewed emphasis on drafting, developing, and retaining young talent. This is a major shift from how the Lakers have operated in recent years. Too often, young prospects were used as trade bait to acquire established stars. While that strategy yielded short-term results, like the 2020 championship, it also left the franchise vulnerable when injuries struck or when those stars aged. The new vision focuses on sustainability, ensuring that the team isn't just built to win now but remains competitive for years to come. Beyond the roster, there's also a shift in how the Lakers engage with the broader basketball community. Expect to see increased investment in community outreach, international branding, and fan engagement. Mark Walter understands that the Lakers aren't just a basketball team, they're a global brand. Strengthening that brand means not only winning games but also building connections with fans worldwide. For Magic, this is deeply personal. His legacy is tied to the Lakers in ways few can understand. Being part of this new chapter isn't just about business, it's about preserving and elevating the legacy of the franchise he helped build. Watching the Lakers struggle in recent years hasn't been easy for him, and now he has the chance to help guide them back to where he believes they belong, at the very top of the NBA. The road ahead won't be without challenges. The Western Conference remains brutally competitive, and other teams have been aggressive in building their own super teams. But with a clear vision, deep pockets, and leadership that understands both the business and the culture of basketball, the Lakers are better positioned than they've been in years. What's unfolding isn't just an ownership change, it's a renaissance. A rebirth of one of the most storied franchises in sports. And with Magic Johnson and Mark Walter leading the charge, the rest of the league has every reason to be paying attention, because the Lakers are getting serious again. As the new ownership era begins to take shape, conversations inside NBA circles are becoming louder. Executives, players, agents, and analysts are all speculating about what exactly this shift means for the future of the Los Angeles Lakers. What's becoming increasingly clear is that this isn't just a surface-level change. It's a transformation aimed at redefining how the Lakers operate for the next decade or more. One of the first things being addressed is the Lakers' front office infrastructure. Over the past few years, while the Lakers have remained one of the NBA's most recognizable brands, their internal operations have often been criticized for being outdated compared to other top franchises. Teams like the Golden State Warriors, Miami Heat, and Denver Nuggets have excelled in recent years, in large part because of their strong front offices that combine data-driven decision-making with basketball intuition. Mark Walter and Magic Johnson are bringing this same forward-thinking approach to Los Angeles. Insiders report that discussions are already underway to expand the Lakers' analytics department, strengthen their scouting network, and modernize their approach to player development. No longer will the Lakers simply rely on star power alone. The goal is to become the smartest team in the room. A significant part of this involves how the team approaches injuries and player health. In recent seasons, injuries to key players like LeBron James and Anthony Davis have derailed multiple campaigns. While injuries are often a part of the game, elite franchises are investing heavily in technology and personnel designed to prevent them as much as possible. Advanced performance tracking, individualized recovery programs, and state-of-the-art medical facilities are now seen as necessities, not luxuries. Walter understands this from his time with the Dodgers. One of the keys to their sustained success has been their ability to keep their stars healthy and their depth intact. That same philosophy is now being imported to the Lakers. Plans are being drawn up for a massive investment in player health and wellness, which includes upgrades to the team's training facility and the hiring of additional sports science professionals. But it's not just the back-end operations getting an overhaul. The on-court strategy is evolving as well. Magic Johnson has always been a believer in dynamic, fast-paced basketball. His Showtime Lakers revolutionized the NBA with their entertaining style of play. While the modern NBA is different, the core philosophy remains relevant. Play fast, space the floor, and prioritize high IQ basketball. The Lakers' recent rosters, while talented, have often lacked the shooting and versatility needed to compete with the best teams in today's game. That's about to change. Sources close to the organization suggest that the front office is targeting players who excel in shooting, defense, and playmaking, the pillars of modern championship basketball. The days of building rosters with awkward fits around stars are likely over. This isn't to say that the pursuit of superstars is ending. In fact, it's quite the opposite, but with a smarter approach. Instead of chasing big names for the sake of headlines, the Lakers are now focused on acquiring stars who fit both culturally and tactically. The rumored interest in Luka Doncic is a perfect example. Doncic is not only one of the best players in the world but also someone whose skill set complements LeBron James as he ages, and Anthony Davis when healthy. However, the Lakers are also looking beyond just Doncic. Names like Trae Young, Devin Booker, and even Joel Embiid have come up in internal conversations. Whether any of these players will actually become available remains uncertain, but the point is clear. The Lakers are prepared to act if the opportunity arises. Beyond external acquisitions, there's a renewed focus on drafting and developing young talent, something the Lakers have historically struggled to balance. During the 2010s, the team drafted excellent players like Brandon Ingram, Julius Randle, and D'Angelo Russell, but often moved them in pursuit of win-now talent. The new ownership intends to avoid that mistake by ensuring that the development pipeline remains strong, even as they compete for titles. This means expanding the role of the Lakers' G League affiliate, the South Bay Lakers. Expect to see increased investment in coaching, facilities, and player development resources at that level. The goal is to create a system where players can grow within the organization, develop under the Lakers' philosophy, and seamlessly transition to the NBA when ready. Off the court, the global business strategy is also getting an overhaul. The Lakers are already one of the most recognizable sports brands in the world, but Mark Walters sees even greater potential. Expanding the Lakers' footprint in Asia, Europe, and Africa is part of the long-term vision. This includes hosting international games, building academies overseas, and leveraging the brand through media, merchandise, and digital platforms. For Magic, this is particularly meaningful. As one of the most globally recognized figures in basketball history, he understands the power of brand expansion not just for financial reasons but for legacy building. The Lakers aren't just a basketball team, they're a cultural icon. This new chapter is about cementing that legacy for future generations. Meanwhile, there's an internal culture shift happening as well. For years, the Lakers were known for a somewhat insular approach, often hiring and promoting from within. While loyalty remains a core value, the new leadership is emphasizing meritocracy, bringing in the best talent regardless of prior connections to the organization. This applies to every level of the franchise, from the coaching staff to the analytics department. It's a modern approach designed to ensure that the Lakers aren't just relying on nostalgia but are evolving to meet the demands of a rapidly changing NBA landscape. As the plans continue to unfold, one thing becomes increasingly clear. The Lakers are no longer content with simply being a big market team with a storied history. They want to be the smartest, best-run, and most dominant organization in basketball, a true powerhouse on and off the court. And with Magic Johnson and Mark Walters steering the ship, that goal feels more attainable than ever. As the Lakers' transformation continues, the conversations behind closed doors are turning into actions. The early stages of the new ownership's plan are already being implemented, and those within the league are starting to notice the subtle yet powerful shifts in how the Lakers are positioning themselves. What's becoming increasingly evident is that this isn't just about reviving the Lakers for a few good seasons. It's about establishing a long-term empire, much like what Magic Johnson and Mark Walters built with the Dodgers. Internally, the tone within the Lakers organization has completely shifted. Meetings that once revolved around short-term fixes are now focused on sustainability, innovation, and dominance. The Lakers are no longer thinking in terms of, how do we win this year? But rather, how do we become the standard for winning for the next decade? One of the most immediate impacts is being felt in the scouting department. In the past, the Lakers were often reactive in their talent evaluation, focusing heavily on established NBA stars rather than consistently scouting the international market, G League, and college prospects. That's changing fast. Mark Walters' philosophy, shaped by years of building the Dodgers into a global baseball powerhouse, emphasizes finding undervalued talent before anyone else does. The Lakers are now sending scouts across Europe, Africa, and South America, regions where basketball talent is exploding but often overlooked by NBA teams focused solely on domestic prospects. The idea is simple: become the best at identifying and developing international players before they become household names. Magic Johnson is fully behind this global approach. As someone who's traveled the world representing the Lakers and the NBA for decades, he understands the potential of tapping into these markets. He's personally involved in meetings about expanding the Lakers' international academies, bringing in raw talent from around the globe, and integrating them into the team's developmental system. Meanwhile, conversations about the current roster are intensifying. LeBron James, who has been both the face of the franchise and a driving force behind recent roster construction, is aging. While he remains an elite player, the front office knows that the team can't rely solely on LeBron's brilliance forever. This has accelerated plans to secure the next generation of Lakers superstars. The internal discussions revolve heavily around two paths: aggressively pursuing a marquee superstar via trade or free agency, or doubling down on drafting and developing elite young talent. Both paths are being pursued simultaneously, a level of operational complexity the Lakers haven't attempted in recent years. There's growing speculation that the Lakers are preparing to make a franchise-altering offer should Luka Doncic signal any interest in leaving Dallas. While Doncic remains committed publicly, those close to him suggest frustration is building over his current team's inability to surround him with sufficient help. The Lakers, now armed with the financial resources, draft assets, and leadership credibility, are ready to pounce if the window opens. But Doncic isn't the only name. Internally, the Lakers are monitoring situations with other superstars, including Devin Booker, Karl-Anthony Towns, and even Giannis Antetokounmpo, should tensions ever rise within Milwaukee. The message from ownership is clear. No opportunity will be ignored if it means bringing generational talent to Los Angeles. Simultaneously, the Lakers are prioritizing internal growth. Anthony Davis remains a central piece of the puzzle, but the team is aware that his injury history demands caution. As such, the front office is focusing on acquiring versatile role players who can both support the stars and step up when needed. Player archetypes being targeted include long, switchable defenders who can shoot threes, intelligent playmakers, and high-character locker room presences. This reflects a dramatic shift from past mistakes where the team prioritized big names over basketball fit. Off the court, the Lakers' media and branding strategy is undergoing its own revolution. The partnership with Walter has unlocked plans for expanding the Lakers' presence in the streaming world, esports, and international sports media. The goal is not only to dominate the basketball court but also to be the most visible and influential basketball brand worldwide. There's a focus on storytelling, producing documentaries, behind-the-scenes content, and exclusive interviews that bring fans closer to the players and the organization. Magic himself is involved in discussions about a new streaming docuseries focused on the rebuilding of the Lakers, highlighting how this ownership change is shaping the future of the franchise. On the business side, the Lakers are actively exploring partnerships with international corporations, luxury brands, and technology companies. The idea is to create a network that enhances both the financial strength of the organization and its cultural impact globally. Within the locker room, the players are feeling the shift. The environment is changing from one of uncertainty to one filled with purpose and direction. Players know that they are no longer part of a reactionary organization. They're part of a forward-thinking, aggressive, and ambitious project. This creates a sense of urgency but also of excitement. LeBron James, sources say, has been particularly energized by the new direction. While nearing the final chapters of his career, he recognizes the potential for a proper send-off, not just a farewell tour, but a legitimate push for another championship before he retires. Anthony Davis, too, is seeing the benefit. For the first time in years, the burden won't entirely fall on his shoulders. The focus on depth, health management, and roster balance means he can focus on being the defensive anchor and offensive force without having to overextend himself nightly. As the pieces begin to move, the NBA landscape is watching closely. Rival executives are wary, understanding that a Lakers organization with both money and modern leadership is a dangerous proposition. The rest of the league knows that when the Lakers are serious, history tends to follow. This is more than just a rebuild. It's not even a retool. It's a total reinvention of what the Lakers can be in the modern NBA, and it's happening faster than anyone expected. The sixth chapter in this unfolding story of the Los Angeles Lakers transformation marks a turning point, where plans start transitioning from boardroom discussions to real-world execution. The buzz around the NBA is louder than ever. What was initially seen as just a change in ownership has now evolved into a full-scale organizational revolution. Players, agents, and rival executives are no longer merely watching with curiosity, they're recalibrating their own strategies, aware that the Lakers are positioning themselves to become a powerhouse once again. Inside the Lakers headquarters, the environment feels fundamentally different. Gone is the air of uncertainty that had hung over the franchise for years, replaced by focus, intensity, and a clear mission. Mark Walters' influence is being felt at every level of the organization. From the way meetings are run to how data is integrated into decision-making, the Lakers are beginning to operate like a modern sports empire, much like Walters' previous success with the Dodgers. One of the most significant changes involves the Lakers' approach to free agency. For years, the franchise relied on its historic brand, its location in Los Angeles, and the allure of playing under the bright lights of Hollywood to attract stars. While that strategy worked in the past, the modern NBA has evolved. Players now care just as much about organizational stability, player development, and long-term competitiveness as they do about market size. The Lakers have recognized this shift. The new strategy isn't just about chasing the biggest names available, it's about creating an environment where stars want to come because they believe in the vision and the infrastructure behind it. It's about offering more than fame, offering a blueprint for winning. This approach is being tested in real time. NBA insiders report that the Lakers are preparing for an aggressive free agency period. With cap flexibility on the horizon and an ownership group willing to spend far beyond the luxury tax line, the Lakers are expected to make multiple offers to high-level free agents. These are not just short-term signings but strategic pieces meant to fit within a larger, long-term puzzle. At the same time, the Lakers are also laying the groundwork for potential blockbuster trades. The front office has spent months meticulously evaluating the trade landscape, identifying not just which players might be available, but also which players fit the culture, system, and future timeline of the franchise. Luka Doncic continues to be a name floated in internal conversations. While acquiring him would require a massive package of players, draft picks, and salary maneuvering, the Lakers are one of the few teams with the combination of assets and market appeal to make such a move viable if the opportunity arises. But the Lakers are not putting all their hopes on one player. The front office has developed what sources describe as a superstar contingency plan. If Doncic remains in Dallas, the Lakers are poised to pivot quickly to other elite talents whose situations could change unexpectedly, names like Trae Young, Donovan Mitchell, or even Jason Tatum if cracks ever form in Boston's long-term plans. This new front office philosophy emphasizes flexibility. The goal isn't to chase a single star blindly but to maintain the ability to adapt as the NBA's ever-changing landscape shifts. It's a recognition that in the modern NBA timing is everything, and the organizations that are both prepared and patient tend to win in the long run. Parallel to these aggressive roster plans is a sweeping overhaul in player development. The Lakers are no longer treating their G League affiliate, the South Bay Lakers, as merely a secondary operation. Instead, it's being transformed into a true developmental engine for the main roster. New investments are pouring into the G League team, from expanded coaching staff to upgraded training facilities and cutting-edge performance technologies. The goal is simple: turn the South Bay Lakers into the NBA's gold standard for player development. This reflects a broader change in the Lakers' mindset. For decades, the franchise was known for its star-driven model, acquiring the biggest names and building around them. While that will remain a core part of the Lakers' identity, the new leadership understands that sustained success in the modern NBA requires balance. A healthy pipeline of young, controllable talent that can support, and eventually replace, the aging stars. Internally, there's a renewed focus on the NBA draft. The Lakers are expanding their scouting reach, bringing in analytics experts and cross-referencing data models with traditional scouting reports. Every draft pick is now treated like a major investment, with an emphasis on not just talent, but character, work ethic, and fit within the Lakers' evolving system. Off the court, Magic Johnson's influence is as powerful as ever. While he's not involved in the day-to-day operations in an official executive capacity, his voice carries enormous weight in ownership meetings and big-picture strategy sessions. Magic is leveraging his unparalleled network, from NBA legends to global business leaders, to open doors that most franchises simply can't access. This has already resulted in several new partnerships for the Lakers, both domestically and internationally. Luxury brands, tech companies, and global media outlets are eager to align with the Lakers as the team embarks on this high-visibility transformation. The brand is being reimagined for the next generation, blending its storied history with a forward-looking identity. Meanwhile, the fanbase is responding with a mix of excitement and cautious optimism. Lakers fans are famously passionate but also discerning. They've seen both the highs of championship parades and the lows of disappointing seasons. The difference now is that the promises being made are backed by action. Season ticket renewals are surging, merchandise sales are spiking, and the buzz on social media is palpable. LeBron James has embraced this energy as well. Sources close to LeBron say he's been deeply engaged with the front office, offering input but also stepping back to allow the new leadership to execute its vision. There's a sense that LeBron recognizes the opportunity to finish his career not just as a great player but as part of a historic Lakers renaissance. Anthony Davis, often criticized for inconsistency, is also thriving in this environment. With the promise of greater roster depth, better health management, and a coherent system designed to maximize his strengths, Davis is preparing for what could be the most consistent stretch of his career. As rival teams watch with growing concern, the message coming out of Los Angeles is unmistakably clear. The Lakers are no longer reacting to the NBA landscape, they're preparing to shape it. This isn't just about winning another title. It's about restoring the Lakers to their rightful place as the most dominant and innovative franchise in basketball. And with each passing day, that vision moves closer to becoming reality. As the Lakers' transformation enters its 7th chapter, the ripple effects are becoming impossible for the basketball world to ignore. What started as whispers about a cultural shift inside the franchise has evolved into a full-scale reshaping of the team's identity, operations, and future ambitions. The Lakers are no longer simply reacting to the pressures of being one of the most storied franchises in sports. They are now actively rewriting the blueprint for what an elite NBA organization looks like in the modern era. Inside the front office, the sense of urgency has blended with a growing confidence. Executives who were once cautious about aggressive moves are now emboldened by the commitment from ownership. With Mark Walter at the financial helm and Magic Johnson providing strategic vision and unmatched influence, the Lakers' decision-makers operate with a level of clarity they haven't had in over a decade. The conversations are no longer about patching holes. They're about building dynasties. Central to this vision is the creation of a Lakers organization that is as formidable off the court as it is on it. The Lakers are now aggressively expanding their sports science department. They've hired leading experts in biomechanics, injury prevention, and performance analytics from across the world, many poached from Premier League soccer clubs, Olympic programs, and the NFL. The mission is clear: extend player longevity, maximize peak performance, and reduce injury risks to a level that few NBA teams have achieved. This shift is seen as essential, especially given the reliance on stars like LeBron James and Anthony Davis, both of whom have had their share of injury challenges. At the same time, the Lakers are doubling down on mental health and performance psychology. Ownership understands that sustaining greatness isn't just about physical conditioning, it's about mental resilience, focus, and cohesion. A new program is being implemented offering players regular access to performance psychologists, leadership coaches, and mindfulness training. Players are already reporting a noticeable change. The atmosphere within the team has shifted from one of constant pressure to one of support, discipline, and mutual accountability. There's a growing belief that this culture change is what will separate the Lakers from other contenders, not just the star power but the systems behind the scenes. Meanwhile, the Lakers scouting network continues to expand. International scouts are sending glowing reports about several emerging prospects in Europe, Africa, and Australia. The organization's willingness to invest deeply in global scouting marks a stark contrast to how the Lakers operated in previous decades, when the focus was overwhelmingly on established NBA stars. The franchise is actively tracking a handful of teenagers in Europe, players who could become foundational stars by the late 2020s. The goal is not only to draft well but also to integrate these prospects into the Lakers' culture early, allowing them to develop in a championship-focused environment. But the pursuit of the present is just as aggressive as the pursuit of the future. The Lakers' front office is continuing to explore blockbuster trade scenarios. While the whispers surrounding Luka Doncic persist, there are parallel conversations happening about other rising stars who could become available under the right conditions. Sources close to the organization indicate that the Lakers have quietly inquired about players such as Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, should Oklahoma City eventually face financial pressure when all of their young stars require max contracts. There's also an eye on Zion Williamson, whose future in New Orleans remains uncertain amid ongoing injury concerns and questions about his long-term commitment to the Pelicans. These are not reckless pursuits. Every potential deal is being evaluated through a lens of both basketball fit and long-term sustainability. The Lakers are acutely aware of the mistakes made in previous years when the team sacrificed depth for top-heavy star rosters that proved brittle over time. Internally, one of the guiding principles of the new leadership is a concept borrowed from Walter's tenure with the Dodgers: sustainable aggression. It means being bold and pursuing elite talent but never compromising the foundation of the organization. This philosophy is driving every decision, from how draft picks are valued to how player contracts are structured. On the branding and business side, the Lakers are also undergoing an aggressive expansion. The franchise is partnering with global media companies to develop original content aimed at younger audiences worldwide. New YouTube series, TikTok partnerships, and documentary projects are all in various stages of production. The goal is to make the Lakers not only the most successful basketball team but also the most culturally relevant sports brand on the planet. Magic Johnson is playing a crucial role in these efforts. His charisma, legacy, and business acumen are instrumental in brokering deals that few other franchises could secure. Whether it's negotiating with global streaming platforms or attracting international sponsors, Magic's presence gives the Lakers an edge that goes far beyond basketball. This aggressive off-court strategy is directly feeding into the on-court ambitions. More revenue means more flexibility with luxury tax payments. It means the ability to offer elite facilities, hire the best staff, and ensure that players have every possible advantage, from recovery technology to travel accommodations. Back on the basketball side, LeBron James continues to be deeply engaged. Those close to him say he's rejuvenated by the direction of the franchise. There's a sense that LeBron no longer feels the need to micromanage roster decisions. Instead, he trusts the leadership around him in a way that he hasn't since his Miami Heat days. Anthony Davis, too, has fully bought in. The promise of a roster built not only around stars but also around depth, shooting, and defensive versatility aligns perfectly with what Davis has long wanted. Internally, there's a growing belief that Davis could become the defensive centerpiece of a title-contending roster that doesn't require him to overextend offensively every night. For the first time in years, the Lakers are also getting serious about continuity, something that had been lacking in previous seasons filled with constant roster churn. The idea is to build a core group of players who can grow together, learn the system, and execute it at a championship level over multiple seasons. Rival teams are now treating the Lakers differently. Front offices that once viewed the Lakers as poorly managed are now acknowledging the seriousness of their operation. Agents are actively steering clients toward Los Angeles, not just because of the city's appeal but because the Lakers are now seen as a stable, player-focused, and competitive destination. As this chapter closes, the message is undeniable. The Lakers are not just back, they are transforming into a smarter, more modern version of the dynasty that has defined basketball excellence for decades. The next moves they make, whether it's a blockbuster trade, a key free agent signing, or a surprise draft pick, could reshape not only the Lakers but the balance of power in the entire NBA. The 8th chapter of this monumental shift in Lakers history opens with a simple but powerful truth. The entire NBA is watching. No longer seen as an aging giant resting on its past glories, the Lakers have evolved into the most intriguing and possibly the most dangerous project in professional basketball. What makes this moment so unique is that it's not just about reclaiming former greatness. It's about setting a new standard for what a modern basketball empire looks like. Behind closed doors, the Lakers' war room has become one of the most active spaces in the league. Trade simulations run around the clock, free agent scenarios are being mapped months in advance, and long-term cap projections are constantly being refined. Every move is weighed not only for its immediate impact but for how it aligns with the 5- and 10-year visions of the franchise. One of the most revolutionary changes comes in how the Lakers are approaching analytics. While the franchise was once criticized for being behind the curve in advanced metrics, that era is over. The Lakers have invested heavily in building one of the NBA's most sophisticated analytics departments. This isn't just number crunching for the sake of appearances. The data influences everything, from how players are scouted to how lineups are constructed, how load management is handled, and how opponents are game planned. Real-time biometric data is now fed directly to the coaching staff during games, offering insights on player fatigue, movement efficiency, and matchup advantages. This shift has had a direct impact on coaching strategies. The Lakers staff, now expanded and modernized, integrates this data seamlessly with traditional coaching instincts. The result is a hybrid system where gut feeling meets machine learning. Opposing coaches have already begun to notice how much sharper and more adaptable the Lakers appear from game to game. Meanwhile, the relationship between the front office and the locker room is at an all-time high. Under previous regimes, there were often tensions. Players felt disconnected from decision-making, while executives complained about players meddling in roster construction. That dynamic has shifted completely. LeBron James, now one of the most respected voices in NBA history, has found a perfect balance. While his input is valued, it's clear that he trusts the leadership structure. His role has become that of a mentor not only to younger teammates but also to the organization itself. He offers guidance when asked but no longer feels the burden of carrying the franchise's decision-making on his shoulders. Anthony Davis, revitalized by the franchise's new direction, is thriving both mentally and physically. Davis has embraced his role as the team's defensive anchor, while also committing to an off-season regimen specifically designed by the Lakers' new performance science team. Early indicators suggest Davis is poised for the most consistent and dominant stretch of his career since his New Orleans days. Off the court, the Lakers' branding machine is operating at a level rarely seen in sports. The organization is now treating itself like a global entertainment company as much as a basketball team. Multiple documentary projects are in production, focusing not just on the team's history but also on its future. Streaming deals with global platforms are being negotiated, allowing fans from Europe to Asia to access behind-the-scenes content in real time. Merchandising has exploded. The Lakers are rolling out exclusive collaborations with fashion brands, streetwear designers, and even NFT creators. Limited edition jerseys, sneaker drops, and digital collectibles are selling out within minutes of release. This isn't just about revenue, it's about making the Lakers an omnipresent part of global culture. And yet, for all the success off the court, the focus remains firmly on basketball. The upcoming trade deadline is seen internally as a defining moment. While the Lakers already boast a competitive roster, the front office believes there is still one major move to be made, a move that could elevate the team from contender to favorite. Discussions with Dallas regarding Luka Doncic remain fluid but complicated. Sources close to the situation indicate that Dallas is under increasing pressure as Doncic evaluates whether his long-term future aligns with the Mavericks' ability to consistently build a contender. While no formal trade request has been made, the Lakers are preparing contingency plans in case the window opens. At the same time, the Lakers are monitoring situations in Atlanta and Cleveland, where stars like Trae Young and Donovan Mitchell could become available under the right circumstances. There's also a quiet eye on Miami, where rumblings suggest that a shakeup could be imminent if the Heat fail to make a deep playoff run. The Lakers' strategy remains disciplined. They are willing to part with draft picks, young talent, and even core rotation players, but only for deals that align with the long-term vision. Gone are the days of desperate, short-sighted trades that mortgage the future for a quick fix. Every conversation is rooted in the principle of sustainable success. Internally, there's also growing excitement about the Lakers' youth movement. Players like Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, and Max Christie are developing faster than expected, thanks in large part to the Lakers' revamped development program. These young pieces are no longer viewed simply as role players but as potential pillars for the post-LeBron era. As this transition accelerates, Magic Johnson continues to act as the bridge between the Lakers' storied past and its ambitious future. His presence at games, practices, and executive meetings sends a clear message. This isn't just another ownership group trying to cash in on the Lakers brand. This is about restoring the soul of the franchise while modernizing every piece of it. Perhaps the most telling sign of how far the Lakers have come is the response from rival executives. Once quietly dismissive of the Lakers' organizational chaos, they now speak of Los Angeles with a mix of respect and apprehension. The common sentiment? The Lakers are back, and they're smarter than ever. As this chapter closes, the Lakers stand at the edge of something enormous. The moves they make in the coming months won't just shape their season. They'll define the next decade of basketball in Los Angeles. The weight of expectation is massive, but for the first time in years, the Lakers aren't running from it. They're embracing it. As the final chapter of this remarkable transformation unfolds, the energy surrounding the Lakers feels different, sharper, more purposeful, and undeniably historic. What began as a quiet ownership transition has now ignited a complete redefinition of the Lakers as not only a basketball powerhouse but also a global cultural force. The magnitude of this shift isn't lost on anyone within the organization, the league, or even the millions of fans worldwide. Inside the Lakers headquarters, the sense of urgency has evolved into confidence. This is no longer a team cautiously testing the waters of change. This is an organization fully committed to a bold, future-forward vision. One that blends tradition with innovation in a way few franchises in any sport have ever accomplished. At the heart of this final phase is a master plan, a blueprint that goes beyond winning the next championship. The goal is sustained dominance, not just for a season or two, but for an entire era. Magic Johnson's presence remains pivotal. His role as the connector between the past, present, and future is more than symbolic. It's strategic. His influence opens doors globally, from business opportunities to recruiting superstars who grew up idolizing his legacy. Mark Walter, meanwhile, continues to play the role of the quiet architect. His financial resources are virtually unlimited, but what's more important is how wisely they are deployed. Rather than throwing money recklessly at problems, Walter and his executive team are methodically building a machine designed to last, with state-of-the-art facilities, cutting-edge technology, and an organizational structure that prioritizes excellence in every department. The basketball side reflects this precision. With the playoffs approaching, the Lakers look unlike any version seen in recent years. The roster is deeper, smarter, and more versatile. No longer built solely around the aging brilliance of LeBron James, the team has struck a perfect balance between seasoned veterans, prime superstars, and ascending young talent. LeBron, entering what may be his final years in the league, finds himself rejuvenated not just by the prospect of one more title, but by the realization that he's part of something much bigger, a legacy project that could echo long after his playing days are over. Anthony Davis has fully embraced his role as the team's defensive anchor and vocal leader, with the Lakers' new sports science program extending his health and productivity in ways previously thought unlikely. Meanwhile, younger players like Austin Reeves, Max Christie, and Rui Hachimura are no longer just role players. They've grown into essential components of the team's identity, versatile, coachable, and fearless. Their development symbolizes a seismic shift in the Lakers' philosophy, no longer a franchise solely dependent on superstars, but one that cultivates and empowers every level of talent. The trade market remains fluid. While the Lakers have already fortified their roster significantly, the front office continues to monitor situations involving stars whose futures are uncertain. However, any final moves will be made with surgical precision. Upgrades that fit both the immediate playoff push and the broader organizational philosophy. Off the court, the Lakers' global expansion is nearing completion. Their brand now reaches every corner of the world, not just through merchandise, but through digital content, youth development camps, and strategic partnerships in Europe, Asia, and Africa. The Lakers are no longer just an NBA team. They are a global lifestyle brand. Documentaries chronicling the team's transformation are already being negotiated with major streaming platforms. A new training facility, the most advanced in the NBA, is set to open within a year. And whispers suggest that the organization is in talks to launch a Lakers Academy, a youth development system modeled after European soccer clubs, aimed at nurturing talent from around the world. Internally, there's a growing belief that the Lakers are on the verge of something truly unprecedented. Not just winning a championship, but building a dynasty for the modern era. A dynasty fueled not only by stars but by systems, culture, and vision. Magic Johnson summed it up best in a recent closed-door meeting with players and staff. This isn't just about hanging another banner. It's about changing the game, on and off the court. Forever. As this final chapter closes, the story of the Lakers is far from over. In fact, it feels like a new beginning. A beginning where the ghosts of past legends walk proudly alongside the architects of the future. Where the weight of history no longer feels like a burden, but a foundation. The Lakers are no longer chasing greatness. They are building it, piece by piece, moment by moment, season by season. And the basketball world, whether ready or not, is about to witness the dawn of a new era in Los Angeles.